It's impossible to talk about Jewish ethics in the book of Breshit without addressing the story of the binding of Isaac, Akedat Yitzchak, or simply the Akedah. Avraham hears a call from the divine to take his son to the top of a mountain and offer him as an offering. Avraham packs them up early in the morning and they travel for 2 days, and on the third day proceeds almost in slow motion toward this terrible act. Ultimately, a messenger from the divine speaks to Avraham and stops him. There are so many ways to interpret the message of this story, but for Jewish ethics, I want to follow a tradition in the Midrash where God never wants Avraham to make this sacrifice, and Avraham knows this, even though he is not sure how exactly it will play out. So the ethical principle is that God never wants us to set aside our responsibilities for human life, ever, even when they're complicated. No one's death is good for a cause, no matter how good the cause. No one's death and no group's death can be the purpose of a cause, obviously. And just being willing to kill can never be the way you ask someone to show how devoted they are to a good cause. If you think that God's will or some cause is so high that it overrides the value of a human life without a thought, you are always wrong. So why doesn't Avraham just say to God right off, "Good test, I get it. This is a command I should not obey, even from you"? I follow a way of seeing this story taught by a Hasidic Rebbe known as the Ishbitzer. He sees the Akedah as a question Avraham asks himself after he has achieved some serenity and prosperity in his life. The Ishbitzer imagines Avraham saying to himself, "How do I know what my own motivations are? How do I know I am not serving God only because things are easy?" So I imagine Avraham saying to himself, I say I have learned the principle of Tselem Elohim, of the image of God manifest in every person, but am I really committed to it? Do I always stand up for it? What if the only way to protect someone I care about puts someone else at risk? What if now that I am old, the only way to protect our legacy is for my child to fight for it, to risk his life for my ideals, to kill those who threaten it or threaten us if he has no choice? What if he doesn't know yet how to weep at the loss of life that might come from his justifiable actions, the way I hope I do? What if my pursuit of justice has blinded me to someone else's life? In this line of thinking, the Akedah isn't something that happened, a demand from God, but an exploration within Avraham's own soul. He makes himself live with the hardest dilemmas that test his commitment to Tselem Elohim in human life, because he does not delude himself that these dilemmas are easy. So we have to commit and recommit to the absolute value of human life. Sometimes how to do that is clear. Sometimes it's not. And in those cases, such as a just war fought justly, we still have to recognize that the deaths are not for God or for the cause, and make sure at the very least that we don't turn away. The big idea is that God despises human sacrifice. We think we know this, and we have to continue to ask what it really means.